Good morning and welcome to Chess League. In this video we will continue reviewing some positions from round number 6. So the first game is James versus Eric. We are on move number 21 at the moment, black's to move, and black decided to play rook d8 to d4. Let's have a look at this position and try to evaluate it. Clearly white is a pawn up, materially up in this position, and generally speaking white is better here. However, it's very far from winning, and if defended properly by black, it takes a lot of time and efforts to win this position for white. The first thing to notice is that a7 pawn is under attack, so white are threatening to take rook a1 to a7. As in many cases, the best defense here is to attack for black. So they can play rook d2, activating the rook and defending a7 pawn. So now, for example, if white takes rook takes a7, black can play queen d4, doing double attack, attacking rook on a7 and the pawn on f2. So after rook d2, white could have played something like rook d1, black would have played rook d8, and still, as I said, white is better here, but black can defend this position for a very long time. Instead, black decided to play rook d4. That move doesn't defend pawn on a7, and white simply took the pawn on a7, which is a possible move. However, in this position, white had even a better option. You see how these two pieces, queen on b4 and rook on d4, are lined up for a fork of the pawn. However, in this position the knight is on c3, so pawn c2 to c3 is not possible to make. However, of course, white can play knight to d2 to d5, attacking the queen on b4, and if c takes d5, then simply c3, attacking the queen and the rook and winning one of these two pieces. If black plays something like queen to c5, defending the rook, then white simply can play c3, attacking the rook again, rook to d3, and queen to e2, winning this rook. So that's the way white could have won this game straight away, simply by playing knight d5 and then c3. Second game, Timothy versus Kobe. Black decided to play here pawn to c5. Now, I'd like to pay your attention to two things here. Number one, d-file is completely closed, and so d6 pawn is very well protected. And number two, the knight on a6 is very well protected, and it's not even under attack. Let's see what could have happened after black played c5. So white could have taken d takes c5, and then now black has only basically two options. They can take with the bishop on c6, but then again these two pieces are lined up for the fork. White simply played b5, winning one of these two pieces. Another option for black here would be to take b takes c6. And now remember, at the start of this position, we made a conclusion that d-file was completely closed and knight on a6 was very well defended. That's not the case anymore. So d-file is now semi-open and knight on a6 is now not protected. And of course, white can do double attack here. They can play pawn to c5, attacking the knight on a6 and attacking the pawn on d6 with the pawn and with the queen, winning basically the pawn on d6. So now black needs to go knight b8, white can take c takes d6, black can play queen e6, and then in this position white can simply continue developing the pieces by playing rook c1, achieving huge advantage here. White is materially up a pawn, and also all black pieces are positioned in the wrong way. Have a look at knight on b8, completely undeveloped. Have a look at knight on h6, on the edge of the board, cannot go anywhere. Have a look at the bishop on d7, blocked by a pawn on c6 and by a queen on e6. So the plan for white here would be to simply play queen d2, then rook fd1, then knight a4 and knight to c5, achieving a winning position here. So that's the way how white could have achieved huge advantage, if not winning position, in this game. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.